So if you were to give some advice to someone considering working in the auto industry or at a dealership,
Follow your dream. Because if you stop dreaming, you stop living. You have to have motivation. You got to be motivated to do whatever you want to do in life.
There is a secret hiding in plain sight in car dealerships all across the country. We've known this truth for years, and we think it's time you know too. I'm Paul J. Daly, and I've been an automotive entrepreneur and creator for over 20 years.
And I'm Kyle Mountsier, and have held just about every position at a car dealership. Join us as we travel the nation to share inspiring, real-life stories of people that work in dealerships every day.
We'll go behind the scenes to talk to frontline workers and bring you the truth about the largest retail industry in the country.
This is More Than Cars.
I'm so excited we get to experience this because this, right now, this moment is the glory of upstate New York.
Oh, this is what I never expected out of upstate New York, being able to sit outside on a beautiful sunny day, maybe warmer than where I'm from in Nashville. For all of those in the country that thought that upstate New York was just Buffalo and 7 feet of snow year round, it's not the case. It is gorgeous out here, sun shining, beautiful weather. We're in a little town called East Aurora, which is in the major city metro of Buffalo, and we're here visiting the West Herr organization, which is one of the largest privately owned dealer groups in the country.
And one of the real unique things about the West Herr Group is that a lot of large private groups are spread out, multiple states, hundreds and hundreds of miles. West Herr, the majority of their stores are all in Buffalo, which means the people just spend more time together. They have more shared experiences because of the community.
They also have stores in Rochester and Syracuse. This will be cool to kind of see threads and the way that people communicate and the culture, how it's built across different stores within the same group.
We're in upstate New York.
Let's get the coffee to get us going.
I'm Amanda Westerly.
I'm Leroy Reed.
My name's Mike Cable.
My name is Samar Al-Alam.
I'm Chelsea Walter, and I work at the West Herr Lincoln store. I'm the pre-owned manager there.
Why did you get into automotive to begin with?
So it was 10 years ago, so job postings weren't where they are now. They were on Craigslist, and I had just had my daughter, so I was looking for something that was part-time, and that's how I got into it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll just do this for now, and we'll kind of go from there.
So what's the progression from putting cars online to internet department to now pre-owned manager? How did that progression happen for you?
West Herr is just such a big group that like welcomes women in with open arms, and they just show you a path to go on. And as long as you are good at your job, then the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. And they really fully support you all the way through. There's not one time where I've needed help and there wasn't at least 10 people I could call and get the help I needed.
So you're married to another West Herr employee?
I sure am.
Okay.
She had some affirmation.
You and Chelsea are married. You both work here. How long have you known each other?
Since I was a freshman and she was a sophomore in high school.
So was it love at first sight?
We had gym class together, but that was really the only class we ever had together, and we had always interacted, but never really connected until well after high school.
Jay and I would set up dates like, hey, let's go out to dinner on Thursday. And then Thursday would come and we wouldn't talk at all. So then the one time he was like, hey, do you want to
What do you mean you wouldn't talk?
Like he wouldn't like reach out to me to like further set up a date or like, hey, let's meet at this place at this time. There was never any of that. It was like, let's do this. And then there was no follow through.
Right, like it's like a vague invitation.
Yeah.
It just would fall.
It just faded away.
Okay.
I actually needed a date to my sister's wedding, and I reached out to her.
And then he like gave me all the information. So like that was like a pretty solid date. I said, okay, so whose wedding are we going to? And he's like, my sister's. And I was like,
all my family.
Okay, cool. And I said, the only way I'm gonna go is if you introduce me to your family as the love of your life. And then he did.
So every single person I met, and like I said, it was my sister's wedding, so it was a lot of family and friends, and that's how I introduced her. And then we had a great time and hit it off, and now we're married. Like most people that are in the car industry, I never thought I would be in the car industry. Back in 2017, I had a neck surgery, and I had complications following the neck surgery, and I was paralyzed from the neck down. And doing some rehab at some outpatient therapy, I was meeting with my therapist and said, I want to do more than just this. So she thought it would be good if I kind of mentored and met with some people that were in the rehab unit and talked to them about my story from not being able to walk to where I was at that point.
I can't believe I'm saying these words, and I wouldn't have said this when it happened, but I think that was the best thing ever happened to me.
Can you explain what happened?
Simple fall in my house, going from the living room to the bedroom, and slipped on a rug and landed on a very sharp corner, and it shattered my C5 vertebrae. I couldn't walk, and my hands didn't function. And after the surgery, they told me nothing's going to change immediately. You got to kind of work through therapy on this.
And so they called me and said, hey, you have to meet this person, because he had a spinal cord injury very similar to mine. I went in and I introduced myself and just started telling him why I was here, and just got to know him as a person, his injury compared to mine, showed him the results, and just talked to him about the importance of going to rehab, the importance of all the things they're telling you to do and teaching you.
And he would come in on Fridays and just visit anybody that had a serious spine and just sit and talk with him. And he could walk, and he would just give you encouragement. Hey, I was where you were. You can come back. I mean, just did this on his own.
Within several weeks, he was out of there. So it went from a point of wanting to give up at some points to he left walking.
I left there with a whole appreciation of every moment. Now I don't sweat the small stuff. You go through something like that, you just don't. All of a sudden, those things that used to bother you, they just don't.
A year later down the road, I applied to West Herr just because my now wife, Chelsea, works for West Herr, and didn't tell her or Scott at the time that I had applied until after I got hired on the spot, and then let them both know I'm not joining West Herr.
Not even, I applied a day later. Like, you went ahead and got all the way hired.
Yeah, it was all the way through before I had met.
Why did you do that?
I just wanted to feel like I got it on my own merit. I didn't want anyone to say, well, he knows X, Y, and Z.
Respect.
So I wanted to do it on my own and prove that I could do it.
And he came and he adapted like as fast as anybody we ever hired. Within a year, he was selling 200 cars a year, and he's a beautiful story.
Can you just tell us your name and your title?
Scott Beeler, President and CEO of the West Herr Automotive Group.
The more stores we visited and the more people we talked to, it became very evident that West Herr is a family in the truest sense. People taking care of one another.
Matt Lasher, I'm the Director of Marketing here at the West Herr Auto Group.
Is that all you do?
I'm also the President of Streamline Auto Solutions.
Is that all you do? No.
Yeah, I'm also a dad of 4 and a husband.
Yes.
I left that one.
And a husband.
Yeah.
You get to work pretty closely with Scott.
I do.
Tell us what it's like to follow him around.
Yeah, I mean, Scott's a really interesting, unique individual in terms of his generosity and his spirit and his servant sort of leadership attitude. And there's nobody driven like him. I mean, I've met a lot of successful people, but nobody is sort of in the dirt and in the details like Scott is.
Scott is kind of soft-spoken, but people tell me he's pretty hard to keep up with, actually.
Impossible to keep up with. And there's not really a difference between urgent and important in his world, whether it's a simple task or it's a really complicated task. They're all the same. Same importance, they all have to happen now. I mean, he could be, doing the yacht thing or the helicopter thing or whatever. Like, he's driving his Ford Taurus around Buffalo, New York every day, 6 days, 7 days a week.
Scott, you've been in the auto industry for a while. Can you tell us how you got started?
Well, a while for me is 48 years. That's a while. But I was 21 and decided I wanted to try something different than what I was doing at the time. And I used to buy cars from West Herr when there was one store. I used to buy wholesale cars from the back there when I was a teenager, take them home, doll them up, put them on the front lawn and sell them. Selling cars, I didn't like it. I loved it. I just knew this is what I would do with my life.
How do you take what that passion was at age 21 and draw that forward to instill that in some of the people that you're leading these days?
Well, I think you got a higher passion, you got a higher drive. You can enhance it maybe a bit. You can put people in an environment where they thrive in it, but I think they got to have that motor. They got to have that fastball. They got to have that want, and they got to have empathy. That's about all they got to have.
Yeah.
They don't know the first thing about selling. They don't know the first thing about communicating with people. If they got those two things, most of the time, the rest of it we can teach them.
Talk a little bit about the culture inside the store and the type of people that are part of your organization.
But what I tell our management team probably 500 times a year is that When you get up in the morning and you're driving to work, the customer comes second. Your employees are first. If you put your attention on your employees, they will in turn around, face our customers, treat them royally. So we end up getting extremely high customer satisfaction by really looking out for our employees first. And that means getting involved in personal lives. That means...
Wait a minute. You said getting involved with personal lives. Isn't that like bad business? You keep business and personal separate?
It's the only way to have a successful company, in my opinion.
You get an opportunity once a year to celebrate your employees in a unique way, and we got to go out and be at this 8,500 person crazy event.
Yeah,
Where was the infancy of that event? And
I counted. You had 4 hamburgers. I counted. So, that day for me is like Christmas. I mean, it's the only time all year I get to see everybody together. Then they see it too.
Yeah, I was born to be the greatest. Yeah, I was born to be a favorite. Look, Mom, on the billboard, I made it. That's what I dream every day, so I say it.
We're here at the annual West Herr Employee Appreciation event, and from what I can tell, they appreciate their employees a lot. Over 70% of their 3,000 employees are here with families and guests, meaning there's a total of over 8,000 people that showed up today. The food is free. The rides are free. The games are free. They even set up an entire toy store that makes every kid's dream of picking whatever toy they want come true. This is a real-world example of a dealership who became a community that is about so much more than cars.
You cannot stop me. Go!
I got to witness the West Herr family in probably its largest form at the Employee Appreciation event, where there was 8,500 people there. Can you talk about the broad family dynamic of West Herr prioritizing people's lives?
That's right. I mean, we try to be family first. We try to be recognizing, hey, if you need to get to that doctor's appointment or that soccer game once in a while, really living that and being creative in how we can solve these problems. Moving away from the stigma of sort of this bell-to-bell culture, which is like that just means 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. You're there the whole time that the dealership's open. We've created some ways and just some truths in navigating that allow us to actually be family friendly. It's still demanding, but family friendly.
Yeah.
So working for West Herr, you feel it all the time. Like when it's your birthday, you have tons of people saying happy birthday to you just because on the message center it says it's your birthday today. And they're like people you don't even know. They'll just call you and be like, hey, I saw it's your birthday, happy birthday. And it's like, okay, wow. I've never met you, but okay, cool. So it's like down to stuff like that to like when Jay and I got married, we had Scott came to our wedding. He actually saw me before Jay did. And he was like, is he gonna be mad? I'm like, no, I think he's gonna be fine with it.
So I started with West Herr in college, and as I was graduating school, I realized I didn't want to leave the company. Push came to shove, I'm like, I don't want to go.
What were you doing at the time when you...
So I have a communications degree.
So obviously automotive makes the best sense for a communications degree.
I owned a car, that was about it, and could barely put gas in it, but what I kind of learned along the way is it's a people business.
Yep.
And the company and the leadership that Scott brought was what made me not want to leave. And that is certainly their main focus, the customers and the people, not the cars, which is weird because you think, okay, this is a retailer, right. That's going to be the most important thing to them. It really isn't.
Mm-hmm. Everybody has a number, like employee number.
Yeah.
Over 3,000 employees at West Herr. Can you share with us what your employee number is?
47.
Wow, that's incredible. What keeps you waking up and walking into these stores?
It's always been a special place. You know, that comes from Scott and Brad and goes down. That's just the way we treat each other.
All right, Haley, what does it mean on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis to be a family at a store?
Pretty much whatever anybody needs, like they never hesitate to ask for help. We do a lot of things outside of work too. Like we're going to the Bison's game on Saturday. All together, our whole store's going, so it's pretty cool. We've known each other for a long time, yes.
This is a great place. They're like family to me. There's nothing that nobody will do here for me. They support me. They give me everything I need. They instruct me. They teach me. I learn from them. If we stop learning, you stop living. So I keep on learning.
They're happy for me when I achieve something. They're sad for me when I don't. And I've seen the support. I I can't talk enough about the support I've received here. Like I feel this is my family away from my family.
Go back to when you got in the car business. What brought you into the auto industry?
Well, when I was 19, I decided to see what's out there in the world, and obviously coming from Bethlehem, Palestine, there is not many opportunities for women like me, especially. So I decided to take an adventure and travel, and ended up in England for studies, and then ended up here for studies. And I like sales, I like dealing with people, and I was browsing online and I saw an opportunity to become a sales consultant, and I took it. And
when you say like I love sales, what particularly about sales do you?
Dealing with people.
Yeah.
I like helping. And one of the things about West Herr is that we encourage empathy, and it's something it's core inside of me, and I really like to help people. And
when you think about like empathy, because empathy and people is one thing, but empathy as it relates to helping someone purchase a vehicle.
Yeah, I don't look at myself as a salesperson, for example. I look at myself as helping someone to buy a car. When people come into the door to buy a car, they already know what they want. They really know the value of their trade. They know what vehicle they want to buy. They know all of that. They just want someone to help them out, and that's what I'm here for.
You know, empathy is like, actually we were talking to Scott, and he said empathy is not something that you can train.
No.
It's not something you can teach.
No.
What about like your upbringing or the way that you perceive the world allows you to have empathy for people?
Well, I come from a culture, or not just a culture, a country where it was always war, always not an easy way to kind of grow up, and that really kind of gave me the base of where the empathy comes from. Like I don't want to say I feel sorry for people, I just feel with people. Oftentimes I find myself on my desk talking to someone about their personal issues, and I feel like a counselor somehow, and it's just, they just pour out their heart, and we both would be crying. It's kind of weird, but it's again, something you cannot teach. It just comes from the heart.
All right, we are headed back to the parts department, and I'm excited because it's an often overlooked part of the dealership, but these guys are organized and ready to go. So I'm gonna see if I can pick a couple parts. All right, headed back into parts, excited to see what we get to do. We've got, I think, Dave here, right?
How's it going?
Dave, thanks for letting me come back into your parts department. You guys are always a little busier than I think a lot of people understand back here.
We do a lot of volume, that's correct.
Can I pick some parts, maybe?
Sure. So there's that for you. And yeah, no easy stuff. We're gonna go right into the deep end. All right, so take that.
I like it. All right.
All right.
Library, I'm not good at libraries.
You grab it?
Where
003. Yep, all the numbers are in order, the way that numbers are. Can I leave you alone for a second while you grab that?
I hope so.
Okay, I got 3 other things I'm working on, so give me just a minute. So we got 3668. We need 8. How's it going over there, Kyle?
I've got my second part. Are you on like number 33?
I'm still pulling parts off of your list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you going here.
R02. Here we go. 16.
Got a whole truck to put away still, too.
116.
It's something. Let's go see how he's doing.
Here's a rod. 126. 19.
1, 2, 2 parts. Oh my goodness.
Wait, I got, look.
Water.
I didn't get this one.
Okay. 1 less than 3.
No, that's this one.
That one?
All right, so this should take me about 33 hours. We'll be fine.
Okay.
Next. How long does it normally take you to get this thing finished?
Less than 5 minutes.
Okay, so I just took 4.5 out of that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, man, thanks for
So
showing
listen,
us
you're
around.
off to a great start, though. So
off to a great start. You guys are the real deal back here, and thanks for showing us around parts a little bit. I got one base look.
All right, so every time we go to a city, we have to try the thing, and we're in Buffalo.
The food, yes.
So when you think of Buffalo, it's buffalo wings.
It's actually not buffalo wings.
Okay,
I've heard.
tell me what it is.
Our friend Matt last year at West Herr, who we're visiting, said, no, see, when you shop local,
you don't call it
just
buffalo
wings.
That's like when you're in Philly. If you say I want a Philly cheesesteak, everyone's like, you don't know what you want.
Right.
You want a steak. Anchor Bar is the name of a place where buffalo wings supposedly started.
Yep.
But when we asked the locals, where should we go?
Nah.
They sent us here.
Yeah. go.
And these are the hot wings, right? Traditional hot wings. I'm going drumstick again. Come on, no blue cheese.
Cheers.
That's traditional buffalo wing, not red hot sauce.
It gets you on the back.
Got me a little bit in the back.
I'll take one off for the team.
Talking and eating wings, keep breathing the air back in there.
Woo! Which one did you order, Bob?
You see when you meet a leader like Scott, like we did, you're like, oh, there is something unique and different.
He just perceives the world, I think, differently than so many people. It's that type of perception that we really need.
When we talk about inspiration and why we want to tell inspiring stories, it does something to you when you realize that there is something more, when there is hope for something greater. And the automotive industry, auto dealers, have given so much hope to people, and we've seen the outflow of that hope. And I think it's just going to continually unfold as we go through these stories today. We're sitting in a theater right now that was purchased by West Herr. Can you tell us the story of this theater and why you decided to buy it?
I knew the couple that owned this theater, and this theater is like iconic in this village here.
Actually, the Aurora Theater is one of the historic landmarks of East Aurora alongside Fiddler's Five and Dime and the Roycroft Inn and Campus. It's been here since 1925. It was built actually by a group of local businessmen, including Irving Price, who founded Fisher Price years later.
Heard of that? Wow. Almost 100 years old. There were probably horses parked out front. Wow. Before there were cars.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
How did you discover that perfect fit?
Well, first of all, Scott has such a wonderful reputation in Western New York. So he and I spoke about, what his vision was for the theater. And it was really in line with what we were doing. And he even said, you do so much with community service. I want to continue that.
On Wednesdays during the summer, we do like a free summer series. It's kind of like a nice family thing, something different, especially because going to the movies and stuff can be so expensive. For some families that maybe can't have that, they can come here and enjoy the family time and, be able to see a fun movie.
I think East Aurora is extremely pleased with the new ownership. West Herr has such a great relationship within the community. So it's just been very nice for the community, and they do appreciate it.
It's not to be noble. It's not to get attention. It's just an obligation, in my opinion, to kind of re-give what we've been given.
And I think for me personally, just pushing into the most vulnerable pockets of the community and how can we deploy our resources and assets and skills in that area of the community to bring up, rising tide lifts all boats.
So you have a unique relationship with Scott Bieler and the team at West Herr. Talk a little bit about maybe how that was formed originally and that friendship and partnership.
I grew up in another country in Central America, saw a lot of the medical need that was there, and thought from the time I was a little kid that I was going to be a doctor someday and go back there and help folks in Central America. When I got to medical school here in Buffalo, I was shocked at the way the poor were treated in this country. I decided to come back here to Buffalo, to the west side, and start a medical practice, but to dedicate it to helping the folks, uninsured, people who needed care the most. And Scott and West Herr are one of the key people that have helped us become who we are today. And so his faithfulness in helping us is making a difference in the lives of many, many people.
I think at this point, Scott's main focus is the Buffalo and the greater community. It's about building that foundation for the future and his legacy, and putting back into the community that's given, and provided him with so much. I feel blessed to be like a really small part of it.
I've heard Scott's pretty sneaky about the way he helps people sometimes.
Most of the stuff we don't even know about.
Remember Leroy? Leroy started with West Herr in early 2023 and began looking for apartments to help get himself reestablished. Unfortunately, they all turned him away.
During our interview, all of us were surprised to learn that he was still living in the Buffalo City Mission, essentially homeless. The team at West Herr wasn't willing to let that continue. His store manager ended up going with him to 4 apartment showings, and the 4th one was a great fit.
Then, West Herr's owner, Scott Beeler, funded his rent for the year, and the store collected other household items to help him furnish it. See, this is the heart of a car dealer, one who cares for people at all costs.
We had a front row seat at West Herr, but know it's also happening at dealerships across the country. Inspiration is in every corner of this industry. You just have to know where to look.